Hello everybody, welcome to another long-awaited episode of Old Man DVD Reviews. We're doing a special episode today dealing with a trilogy of films that we never thought we would get a third one for. How's that a way of putting it? Yeah, you like that? Alright, so back in the days of shot on video, people using, whatever we had available. It looked like it was shot on video, but if it was interesting enough, we didn't care. Actually, shot on video has its own little ambiance to it, things that you normally won't see in a video. But there were some people who were putting these things out. Mark Poloni is a good example of shot on video. There's a number of them. I'm most familiar with Mark because I wrote the book, but I started watching recently some documentaries about micro budget filmmakers, and a name and a person and a face that kept coming up was Phil Herman. I did not know who Phil Herman was. No idea whatsoever. So I'm going to watch these, and they're explaining his movie Burglar from Hell, and then he made movies Jacker and Jacker 2. Honestly, I've not seen Burglar from Hell yet, but recently, my lovely wife Martha and I went to the most recent Gross Fest in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, solely because Mark Poloni was going to be there. There was no way I was going to miss out seeing the man I've seen all of his movies, so we were going to go. And while we were there, there's Phil Herman from the documentaries, and you couldn't have met a nicer fella. How nice, you ask? Let me tell you how nice. So I was handing out copies of my new movie, Amityville Sasquatch versus Creepy Clown. Yes, you can still buy them from me. Get a hold of me in the comments or whatever. That's fine. Anyways, there's Phil Herman. And I gave him one of my movies. He goes, "You should take one of my movies." And he gave me his double feature Vinegar Syndrome. The slipcover has got an autograph on it, but I took that off for this. Of the Saturn, Saturn's Core audio and video release of Jacker 1 and Jacker 2. So before we start talking about these two films, let's go ahead and watch the trailer.
Wrong guy to carjack, asshole. You should have put your nose where it doesn't belong. Fuck you. Thanks for the car.
You killed my sister.
Hey.
What are you gonna do? Fucking shoot me? No, Jay! What are you gonna do, man?
He's pure evil. He's a heartless son of a bitch. I'm the carjacker. You're the victim. Bitch.
Okay, see, now you know what you're in for, don't you? This is, it's the best. It's, rough looking. You're not really sure why he's doing this. So see, I have this problem with my brain where I'll focus on something that doesn't make any difference whatsoever. It's not important, especially for these two feature films. But to me, jacker is short for carjacker. A carjacker traditionally takes the car with the intent of selling it. That doesn't happen in neither of these movies. But I'm like, you know what? Whatever. So I'll try to get over myself. But these are a lot of fun. Very low tech, which is great for shot on video. Phil Herman gives a great performance, as does everyone else in both of the films. I do like, and I'm not going to remember anyone's name. That's just not going to happen. The gentleman who plays like 3 different parts. They change wigs and stuff like that, and he pulls it off. It looks really good. But you're not sure why he's killing all these people. It's just, that guy who just has that day, and this is his day, and he's done with it. And he decides to go kill people. And if you mess with him, he will come for you and your family. And it's just brutal to watch. It's just extremely rough stuff where he's going to just kill everybody. And then in the sequel, Jacker 2, we have Marilyn, honey, I'm not going to remember how to say it, Gigliotti. She's Dante's girlfriend from Kevin Smith's first Clerks movie. One of my favorite parts of the movie is Marilyn. And she's in this. She's even on the cover. See, there she is right there. And it's a lot of the same, but we're getting the idea that there's something more going on with this jacker than the first movie led us to believe. That being said, it's a little in the supernatural. And you have to remember, these movies, every time they get put out, sell. When they first came out on shot on video on VHS, running in ads in magazines, they would sell. When they re-release them, they would sell. It doesn't matter. Everybody wants to see these. And after years, I watched these this year. I had never seen Jacker. I've seen a lot of shot on video. Not Jacker. And these are great. These are awesome. I'm sorry I waited. But yes, it was so much fun to meet Phil Herman at Gross Fest. It was very nice of him to say nice things about the things that I gave him. My movie, I gave him one of my Monster Killer series books. Or did I give him Horror Waltz? I don't remember. I think I gave him Horror Waltz, which is a collection of my short stories. Anyways, saying nice things. I'm pretty sure he's the reason I ended up selling quite a number of copies of Amityville Sasquatch versus Creepy Clown. I got a lot of requests after I joined a group of his about indie filmmakers. So, just the nicest guy. And they were going to show at Gross Fest Jacker 3. Jacker 3 is the third movie in the trilogy. It's 30 years later. He was brave enough to make a sequel to 2 movies he made back in the mid-90s. He made them again. Well, he didn't make them again. He made a brand new movie. So that is awesome. Why don't we go ahead? Because it's just been released. You can buy your own copies. I'm going to put the information on how to get your copy at the bottom of the screen and to the program so that Phil has a chance of getting those out there. And before we talk about Jacker 3, I want to go ahead and we'll go to the trailer.
So here's the deal. I'm scared of the bogeyman, but I'm scared to death of the jacker.
Long way to go. Silhouette in the distance through the pouring rain. stands a tall, dark man with a shadowed face. Don't stop for the stranger. Kind-hearted soul doesn't know what lies ahead. Fate is in your hands. Make your choice. Don't stop for the stranger. Don't stop for the stranger.
The Jacker is born.
Exchanging glances, eyes straight ahead. You made a bad decision. You welcome death when you stop for the stranger. You stop for the stranger. Now your life's in danger. You stop for the stranger. Don't look into the eyes of the man with a shadowed face. Don't look into the eyes of a man with a shadowed face. Don't stop for the stranger. Keep on going. Don't stop for the stranger. Keep on going. Don't stop for the...
Well, how was that? Yes, Phil sent me a screener. And this old man actually figured out how to cast it from my phone to the TV. My children were suitably impressed with my mad skills at being able to watch it. I don't watch movies on my phone. I just can't do it. That screen is too small, and I ended up holding it like this. So I put it on. Plus, I want to see what it plays like on a bigger TV. I didn't put it on the biggest TV in the house, but it's still like a 32-inch TV. That's a big TV. So, Jacker 3. Jacker 3 is awesome. I mean, we get 30 years later. We acknowledge that it's 30 years later. The nice thing that we get, though, in the prequel part of the movie that starts at the beginning, where we have a young Mike and his parents, and we find out why Mike is the way he is, and it's a perfectly logical reason. And then someone that we believed who had died in Jacker 1, we find out hadn't died at all. And we're like making a big deal because the Jacker's now a thing of legend. 30 years, no contact. They never caught him. They never found him. He got away with murder. And then he's just a legend of the Jacker. But something is bringing him back after 30 years. I have a couple ideas of what that is, but I really don't want to ruin the movie by talking about my personal theories. If you have any you want to put in the comments, great. We can discuss it in the comments, but I'm not doing it here. Now, when you make something 30 years later, equipment grows by leaps and bounds. Everything is better. You can shoot a feature film on your phone. So everything looks awesome, which takes away a little bit from the shot on video griminess of the first two films. But that's to be expected because the equipment that they shot with then, you can get it, but it's awful. Why would you? Why wouldn't you use what's available to you? Everything looks nice and clean. Phil Herman still got the hat for the Jacker, which is awesome. goes on a rampage against people. There's a fake jacker. There's a podcast. Debbie D is in it. Debbie D is awesome. It was good to see that she came back. They brought back a lot of people that were in the first couple of movies. So that was nice to remember all of these people and make sure that they're in the movie. So here's Jacker on a rampage, but then we discover the prequel sets us up for what happens in the film. It gives us his reason, as I'd mentioned before, and now he's out there with what used to be what we thought was just mindless violence, a crazy serial killer. There's a little more to it. Once again, no, I'm not going to tell you what it is. So this is a great movie. Phil Herman and his crew go back to the roots of what Jacker is. They bring it to the forward nowadays, 30 years later, without skipping a beat. It's like nothing has changed. I mean, we all got older, but everybody gets older. That's how it works. So the ending is mind-blowing. I know now your mind is pre-blown. Thanks to the Big Bang Theory for that one. But it's mind-blowing. It's just so well done. This is the perfect capper to this sequel. Rarely do you get a third in a trilogy or a sequel 30 years down the road that gives you what you want in a feature film. Because a lot of times they'll be like, let's change everything. If you change everything, we're not going to want to watch it, or we're going to say bad things about your 30-year later sequel. Phil Herman recognized this and did it the right way. So these are the series of movies: Jacker, Jacker 2, Jacker 3. Yes, I still have the carjacking thing in my brain, that's just me, and that's just me. But so you need to. These are still available on Vinegar Syndrome site. You can get a Jacker 1 and a Jacker 2, so you can watch those. Jacker 3 is coming out. I told you I'd give you the information for it. So yes, once again, always support independent cinema. Independent micro-budget cinema is going to give you more rewards in viewing and just having a great time than anything that Hollywood's putting out by committee. Because if you think somebody's put their name on a $100 million budget movie that says director, they aren't directing squat. They show up for the movie, and then they have to run it through all these other people before we even get to see the movie. This is a real movie, directed by, starring, all that stuff. It's these people in it who do things like move a cable. You couldn't do that in a feature film, or a big budget Hollywood film. This is a feature film. You couldn't do that in that. So I want to thank Phil Herman for being one of the nicest filmmakers in the business today. Thanks for letting me have this, because I gave you my terrible Sasquatch clown movie. It was nice that you signed it also to my wife. I appreciated that. Yeah, that's all I have for this. Jacker 1, Jacker 2 on now from Vinegar Syndrome. Saturn's Core audio and video. I'll put the information so you can get Jacker 3. And just get out there and watch some movies. Watch movies that it looks like somebody made in their backyard. Watch no-budget movies. Don't stop watching the big budget movies. I still watch them. But watch stuff that looks like you recognize that house. You're like, hey, that looks like the house across the street. And you find out that they're making movies. In this case, it's my house. And people figure that out when they see it. And they're like, hey, I've seen that house before. Yeah, no kidding. All right. Well, thank you again for watching. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time with something you'd never see coming. All right. You have a great day.